The Boys just released one of the most insane episodes of the entire final season, and fans are still trying to process everything that happened. Because episode 5 was not just another chapter filled with violence, chaos, and shocking moments. This episode was something completely different. It was a savage Hollywood parody, a surprise supernatural reunion, a celebrity bloodbath, and one of the smartest satire episodes the series has ever made. If you watched quickly, you probably saw famous faces popping up everywhere and thought it was just random fun fan service. But if you look deeper, every cameo in this episode had a purpose. Every guest star represented something bigger, and the boys used these appearances to mock celebrity culture, fake activism, nostalgia marketing, and the entertainment industry itself. So today we're breaking down all 7 cameos and guest stars in The Boys Season 5, Episode 5, what each one really means, the hidden jokes fans missed, and why this may secretly be one of the most important episodes of the season. Warning, spoilers ahead. Why Episode 5 feels so different. Before we talk about the cameos, let's first understand why this episode stands out so much. Season 5 has mostly focused on war, revenge, Homelander's growing control, and the boys trying to stop him before it's too late. So when Episode 5 suddenly shifts into this weird celebrity-filled chaos story, it feels unexpected. But that was intentional. The episode title, One Shots, hints at short connected stories and multiple perspectives. Instead of giving us one straight narrative, the show uses separate mini-stories to expose different parts of the world. And one of those worlds is celebrity culture. The Boys has always mocked politics, corporations, superhero movies, media propaganda, and social trends. But this time, it targeted Hollywood itself. And honestly, this might be one of the boldest things the show has done. Jared Padalecki as Mr. Marathon. Let's start with the biggest surprise of the episode. Jared Padalecki appears as Mr. Marathon, a former member of the Seven. Now, this casting is genius for several reasons. First, Jared Padalecki is best known for playing Sam Winchester in Supernatural. Second, Jensen Ackles, who plays Soldier Boy, played Dean Winchester. Third, The Boys creator Eric Kripke also created Supernatural. So this is not just a cameo. This is a reunion years in the making. Fans have wanted to see Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki together again for a long time. But instead of giving fans an emotional reunion, The Boys turns it into madness. That is exactly the kind of humor this show loves. Now let's talk about Mr. Marathon himself. He is revealed to be an older speedster who once had status before A-Train replaced him. That detail matters a lot, because he represents aging celebrities who get thrown away once younger, newer versions appear. Hollywood constantly replaces stars. The entertainment world always wants something fresher, and Mr. Marathon is basically a washed-up relic trying to hold on to relevance. That's why his house is full of celebrities. That's why he surrounds himself with status. That's why he still worships Vought. He's a man desperate to matter again, and that makes him one of the saddest characters in the episode. But of course, this is The Boys. So instead of sympathy, we get horrifying chaos, the deeper meaning of Mr. Marathon. Many fans only saw him as a joke version of an old Flash-type character, but he's more than that. He represents what happens when fame expires. Once you stop being useful, the machine moves on. And The Boys repeatedly shows that soups are treated exactly like celebrities. They are marketed, packaged, promoted, then replaced. That makes Mr. Marathon one of the smartest side characters the show has introduced this season. Misha Collins as Malchemical. Then we get another surprise. Misha Collins appears as Malchemical. For longtime TV fans, this is huge, because Misha Collins played Castiel in Supernatural, one of the most beloved characters in that series. So now episode 5 gives us Jensen Ackles, Jared Padalecki, Misha Collins, all together again. That alone was enough to make fans lose their minds online. But again, The Boys doesn't use nostalgia in a normal way. Instead of heroic teamwork, we get dysfunction, resentment, and insanity. Malchemical is portrayed as a soup carrying bitterness toward Homelander, and that fits the deeper theme of forgotten stars and bruised egos. Many former celebrities or rising talents feel ignored once bigger names dominate the spotlight. Homelander, in this case, is the ultimate superstar. Everyone around him becomes smaller, everyone around him gets overshadowed. So Malchemical's anger is not just personal, it represents life in the shadow of a giant brand. The Supernatural reunion was not fan service. This is important. Some viewers think the reunion was just there to excite fans, but I disagree. The Boys intentionally took actors associated with friendship, brotherhood, loyalty, and heroism, and placed them in a cynical world where all those values are corrupted. That contrast matters. Supernatural was emotional and heartfelt. The Boys is cruel and satirical. Same actors, different universe. That's not random casting, that's commentary. Hap, Seth Rogen as himself. Now let's talk about one of the funniest appearances in the episode. Seth Rogen shows up as himself during the celebrity poker party. And this cameo has extra layers because Seth Rogen is already an executive producer on The Boys. So the show is literally making fun of one of its own producers. That's rare. Most shows protect powerful people behind the scenes. The Boys does the opposite. It throws them into the joke. And that tells you why this series still works. No one is safe. No one is above parody. Not even the people making the show. Rogen had appeared in Vought promotional material before, but this was his biggest role inside the story itself, and his terrified reaction during the chaos perfectly fits the episode's tone. Why Seth Rogen's cameo matters. He represents celebrity closeness to power. Hollywood often laughs at systems while benefiting from them. The Boys exposes that contradiction. Everyone jokes. Everyone performs outrage. Everyone acts brave until danger actually arrives. Then panic begins. That is the core joke of the entire poker sequence. Kumail Nanjiani. Then comes Kumail Nanjiani, and this cameo may be the smartest one of all. Why? Because Kumail famously transformed his body for Marvel's Eternals. That physical transformation became a major online talking point. So when he jokes about being too yoked now, The Boys is mocking superhero body culture. Modern Hollywood expects actors to become unrealistic physical ideals. Massive muscles, perfect abs, extreme diets, brutal training, and audiences now treat that as normal. The Boys turns it into comedy. But beneath the joke is criticism. Actors are pressured to reshape themselves just to fit franchise expectations. That's why Kumail's presence works perfectly in this episode. The hidden message about celebrity activism. Kumail's character also pushes others to speak out. That scene clearly mocks performative activism. Public figures often make statements because it looks good, not because it changes anything. The Boys has mocked this behavior before, but here it hits especially hard. Everyone wants to seem brave until real consequences appear. Then loyalty disappears instantly. Christopher Mintz-Plasse. Next is Christopher Mintz-Plasse. Most people instantly know him from Superbad as McLovin, and The Boys knows that too. That's why his dialogue references Michael Cera and old comedy-era fame. This cameo is about typecasting. Some actors become so tied to one legendary role that audiences never let them move past it. No matter what they do later, they are still remembered for that one moment. That's the hidden sadness behind the joke. The Boys turns it into comedy, but there's truth underneath. Will Forte. Then we get Will Forte, and his cameo contains one of the darkest lines of the episode. He jokes that another performer being executed led to more opportunities for him. That sounds absurd, but it reflects how ruthless industries can be. When someone falls, someone else rises. When scandal happens, replacement begins immediately. When space opens, competition rushes in. Entertainment can be brutally transactional, and The Boys captures that in one twisted joke. That's why the writing in this episode is smarter than many viewers realize.
Craig Robinson.
Finally, Craig Robinson appears near the end, and his cameo is genius because it arrives after viewers think all the celebrity surprises are already over. That unexpected timing makes it even funnier. His reaction to Soldier Boy feels like an audience member suddenly entering the madness. He sees a legend, gets excited, and immediately becomes part of the nightmare. That is classic Boys humor. Admiration meets brutal reality. Why all the celebrities die. Now let's discuss the biggest theory fans are talking about online. Why did nearly every celebrity guest star end in disaster? Because the episode is making a statement. Celebrity influence is fake power. Followers are not power. Trending online is not power. Being famous is not power. Having brand deals is not power. When Homelander walks into the room, all of that disappears. The room instantly changes. Fear becomes real. Suddenly, no one cares who has followers. No one cares who has status. No one cares who is famous. That is the message. Modern celebrity culture looks powerful until it meets actual authoritarian force. Then it collapses. That's why this episode feels so sharp. Why this may be one of the best episodes of Season 5. Episode 5 succeeds because it balances three difficult things: comedy, horror, social commentary. Most shows fail trying to do even one. The Boys does all three at once. You laugh, then feel uncomfortable, then realize the joke was about something real. That's why fans are calling this one of the smartest episodes of the final season. And honestly, they may be right. Hashed what this means for the rest of season 5. There may also be a bigger warning hidden here. The boys use celebrities as symbols of distraction. While everyone focuses on spectacle, Homelander keeps gaining real control. That mirrors real life politics and media cycles. People obsess over entertainment drama while dangerous power grows in the background. If that's intentional, then episode 5 is setting up something darker coming soon. And knowing this show, it probably is. Final thoughts. So those were all 7 cameos and guest stars in The Boys Season 5, Episode 5. Jared Padalecki, Misha Collins, Seth Rogen, Kumail Nanjiani, Christopher Mintz-Plasse, Will Forte, Craig Robinson. But this episode was never just about cameos. It was about fake influence, disposable fame, corporate celebrity culture, nostalgia marketing, and what happens when performance meets real fear. That's why Episode 5 works so well. On the surface, it's hilarious. Underneath, it's brutal. And that combination is exactly what made The Boys one of the best shows on television. So tell me in the comments, which cameo shocked you the most? And do you think episode 5 was one of the smartest episodes of the entire season? Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next deep dive.